Hello, my dear friends, women dentists. So excited to have you back on the show. And today we have a really special episode where I'm going to take you behind the scenes of NoStressDDS Mastermind. I'm going to peel the curtain and show you exactly what happens when you enroll. And we are enrolling right now for the last time in 2025. So if you have been thinking about joining the mastermind, if you are curious what it is, today's episode is going to give you so much more information. And I am diving into more in-depth and specifically talking about one of the components, how to lead your team, in my upcoming training called Your Practice, Your Rules on March 9th. I'm going to leave the way to register. It's a free class in the show notes below of this episode. But right now, we're just going to talk about the mastermind in general. Okay, so what is NoStressDDS Mastermind? I, as you know, am a board-certified orthodontist, and I am also a certified coach for almost 8 years now, and an orthodontist also actually for 8 years, and a dentist for 15. So I have been doing this work for almost a decade now. And I've mostly done private mentorships, private coaching for other women doctors, because we're coming with problems with their team, or struggling with confidence or making decisions, or just general overwhelm from running a practice and not having a great work-life balance. And after I've coached many doctors, I saw some commonalities. And so I created this mastermind because I also saw the importance of having a community. We women often go to leadership conferences and women in dentistry conferences, just conferences that are specifically for women dentists. And we love the community. We love how safe it feels to be around other women. And I know that you want to be a part of a community. You're probably already a part of some Facebook groups. And so I saw how important it is for us to have a community, but not just a community where we, can bounce ideas and come and kind of vent, and just know that I'm not the only one struggling with this, and maybe even get some, advice, anecdotal advice. But a community of people, of individuals who believe in themselves. There's more for you in this world. You can achieve great things and you want to grow. This is who I created this mastermind for. And you will be surrounded by like-minded women doctors, either practice owners or associates. I'm going to talk about this in the middle, who will help accelerate your growth on steroids. That's what this mastermind is about. Because not only you're coming to a shared experience, which is what's happening in most Facebook groups, this mastermind is led by a professional, certified, trained coach, me, experienced too, in both coaching and in dentistry. So it honestly is the best of both worlds. And that's why I created this mastermind. So let me tell you a little bit about what this is. It's my 6 months signature program specifically for women dentists. And the mastermind has 2 tracks. It has a practice owner track and it has an associate track. So depending on whether you own a practice, even if you just started, totally perfect. In the current mastermind, I have several people who are just brand new. It's perfect for you because in the mastermind, you will also have people who have been in practice for 5, 10, 15 years. So there's so many things that you're going to learn from them. And there's also so many things you're going to learn together from me, which makes it a really perfect container for any stage of practice ownership. And if you're wondering which stage you're at, or you didn't even know there's stages, I have a podcast episode. I believe it's episode number 2, the 3 stages of practice ownership. So go ahead and listen to it after this one. You will really love how I break it down, and I even have a PDF document that you can download. But going back to NoStressDDS Mastermind. So I have one specific track for practice owners and then track for associates. Now, if you're an associate who is very seriously considering starting a practice, that's when you want to talk to me so that I can help you decide which track you're going to go to. What happens inside of these tracks? So on March 18th, we're starting a new cohort of the Mastermind. Both tracks are starting on the 18th, but separately. And depending on where you're at, what's going to happen is the minute you enroll, even if you enroll early, it's even better, right? Like enrollment is open now. We'll start on the 18th. The minute you enroll, you will have access to my comprehensive library of lessons. Okay? It's a library that is an app on your phone, meaning you can just download that app and you can start listening to these bite-sized videos. They're 5 to 10 minutes. Like the longest I think is 12. So it's really easy because I know if I start listening to a lecture and it's an hour and a half, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to take me like 5 takes to finish it. And I already forgot what was at the beginning. So I understand your struggle. I see you. That's why I've created them in a shorter version. So it is easier to get through them on your commute or when you're cooking or in the shower or on the walk, whatever you're doing. And this is the first thing you're going to get. And if you are choosing a practice owner track, you will see there's a theme of 3 pillars. I call them pillars. One is I'm teaching you something I call Think Like the CEO. This is a collective term that I've created to help you develop a personality type, a quality of somebody who can make decisions strongly, fast, make right decisions, develop better confidence, not just clinical, but outside of it, business confidence, right? As an owner, it's really important. Not second guess your decisions. Know how to lead with authority, how to lead with compassion, and don't bring the headache home. Like make decisions and feel good about it and never use it against yourself. Because of what I've learned after coaching so many of you guys is that you often take a good amount of time to make a decision and then you make it and then you kind of vacillate. Oh, was it the right decision? I don't know. You're second guessing yourself. And then if it doesn't pan out the way you want it, you use it to beat the crap out of yourself. And that is what we're not doing in the mastermind. I'm going to teach you how to never do this again to yourself with the CEO mindset coaching, I call it. So that's one of the pieces. If you struggle with second guessing yourself, if you are unsure, if it's like harder for you to make decisions, or you're anticipating, gosh, like how am I going to figure out my marketing strategy? Oh my gosh, I need a marketing strategy. Like how am I going to figure out a growth strategy, new patients? Like higher level thinking like a practice owner is what I teach in this component. And you'd be surprised, even seasoned practice owners take so much from this section. They just look at it a little bit differently. Because a lot of us work very hard and feel like we have to own a seat at the table. And 10 years down the line, we are now, instead of insecurity, it's more of a frustration and anger of how these aspects show up. And the Think Like the CEO helps develop a different relationship with problems and just the day-to-day stuff. So that's one thing, one subset of video lessons that you will immediately have access to when you enroll. Another subset is my signature process that I call Team Excellence Code. Everybody, every single practice owner has something going on with their team. Everybody. It's a universal. And there's so much advice on leadership out there, right? And we even have these expensive practice consultants that are coming in and cleaning stuff up. But often, like, you don't even know what the problem is. Am I understaffed? Am I overstaffed? Am I delegating too much? Am I not delegating enough? Am I a control queen? Is there a leadership problem? Like, what's going on? That's what I help you do in the Team Excellence Code. And what you're going to see there is my 3-step framework for how to hire, maintain, and keep accountable your team And there is a coaching component to it, right? To help you with the people pleasing, to help you better have difficult conversations. Like part of being an owner and having people that work for you is having these uncomfortable conversations. And you are not trained how to do that. Neither was I. Coaching helped me a lot because it showed me what a relationship really is. It's just thoughts between two people. And it helped me clean up my thoughts about my staff so that I can walk it into the practice and be loving and also unattached. And it made me lead so much easier on my team. And honestly, like we have difficult conversations. They happen and then people just come and give me hugs. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for saying this. And all I'm doing is those 3 steps that I'm going to teach you inside the mastermind. So one of the steps is to have very clear expectations from your team. I'm sure you've heard that before. And what I do for you in Mastermind is that you have a whole, like a folder, like a subset of a lot of done for you systems and templates. So I have done for you job descriptions and daily checklists for virtually any position in the dental practice for any specialty. It's kind of insane. Like this alone is worth the money for the mastermind, just this one piece. And you have it all done for you. You can just download it, put your logo and run with it. You also have the expectations for an associate if you want to hire an associate. If you want to outsource it to a practice management company, how do you know who to hire? Like there are like tens of thousands of dollars, some of them hundreds of thousands of dollars. I actually have a checklist for you to properly hire a good consultant if you want to do that. Not only that, I have my signature. It's called Hiring Made Simple. It's a very simple 4-step process how to hire somebody new without headache. So many of you practice owners keep staff for way too long, like that rotten apple, for way too long because you just don't want to go through a headache of hiring somebody. Or the mindset, right? You don't want to be the office that fires people. But staff turnover is a completely normal thing. And I've created a 4-step process to make it super easy for you to go from the Indeed ad to an in-person interview and hire. There are literally checklists and templates, like the scripts that you can copy paste and insert in the ad that are customized for your practice. And on the calls, I help you customize it too if you're struggling, and how to have a video chat and what to do in an in-person interview and the actual checklist when the applicant shows up in your practice. So you're maximizing the time and you're not just like judging them based on, did they show up on time? Are they smiling? Right? Because like in-person interviews could be awkward, right? Like they're new to your practice. They don't really know where things are. So you're not like really judging them on their skills. But I have your checklist to be sure you hire somebody really great. So that, and also 90-day review templates, right? Doing reviews, hiring somebody for a 90-day, like a probation period. You want to evaluate them at the end. I have actual templates for you, again, that you can just download, put your logo in it, and run with it. And this is all in the Team Excellence Code. I know. And I also bring in experts in legal, accounting, practice management as guests in the mastermind, so you can ask them any questions. Insane. I know. And we haven't even gotten to the 3rd step. So think like the CEO. That's the library of videos that you get access to. Think like the CEO mindset. You get the Team Excellence Scope, my 3-step process, how to have an excellent team, and done for you hiring systems and templates, as well as how to go from an ad to a hired person, 90-day reviews. And I coach you on the mindset of being a people pleaser, of wanting for everybody to be happy, of treating your team like a family that's currently not working for you. We're going to totally keep what's working. But so many things make your staff take advantage of you. And we want to get rid of that. That's where coaching comes into place. It's not just done for you, it's also done with you, because I'm there with you, holding your hand, making sure that you implement these things and change your interactions and how you have these difficult conversations with the staff. Here's what many people say. Well, that's why I hired an office manager. Okay, great. How is that working for you? If it's working great, then maybe this is not the component that you need. But for many people that I speak to, the office manager is either too direct or she's kind of too cold, right? Which makes sense, right? We are more of a nurturing, we're a caretaker, we're the doctor, we're a people pleaser. And then the office manager is more the opposite, right? More direct, or the other way, right? If we're very direct, he or she is probably more mild and kind of easygoing. And then often they don't live up to your expectations, right? Because you want certain things and they're doing it differently. So you still have to get together. You still have to have conversations. You still have to be involved. So it's your involvement in staff matters is inevitable. And you want to learn how to approach it without team being a headache, without managing the staff being another thing on your plate. In the mastermind, you will learn exactly what to do when the staff is bickering or one person is slow and you kind of want to let them go, but the other people, or you want to keep them, but the other people want you to let them go, and how to navigate these complex dynamics. That's what I'm going to teach you in a simple 3-step process. And then finally, the third component of the mastermind is it's called time freedom method. It's my method that I have developed and tested on many women doctors to how to have better work-life balance. I hear you in the DMs and the emails always telling me how it is a lot to run a practice, especially if you're a mom and you have kiddos. I have 2 little ones, 2 and 1 years old, and I own 2 businesses. So I know what you're going through. And this is literally going to be my contribution to the humanity, creating the time freedom method. Because not only am I going to teach you and literally walk you hand by hand, hour by hour, of how to create this very organized calendaring system that includes your work and your free time, your priorities, your family. I'm going to help you set priorities. I'm going to help you create this week schedule that you will see every time gives you extra from 10 to 50 extra hours per week. It's insane. Whenever I do this exercise with people, we find extra 30 hours, 40 hours. Tell me, dear listener, what can you do with extra 30 hours per week? I'm not joking. Outside of sleep. Is there anything you can find doing? Do you want to sleep extra? Do you want to work out? Do you want to have me time? This is what happens when you use my time freedom method. It's insane. And not only am I going to help you create this, I will also teach you how to set proper boundaries and how to stick to this calendar. Because that's what I see is a missing piece for so many women. We may create a schedule and then somebody walks in, interrupts us, or asks us for a favor, and we're like, okay, sure, I'll do it. Or we get frustrated and then, maybe we're tell them off, but now we're so frustrated we can't even focus on what was on our calendar. So that's what I'm going to help you do. You are guaranteed to have a better work-life balance. All right. So this is what you're getting when this is going to be a long episode, when you're joining, the minute you join the mastermind, before we even start, we have weekly calls, but before you even start, and by the way, the mastermind starts on the 18th. It's a Tuesday. We don't have calls on Tuesday, so don't worry about it. It's just the official date. Calls are typically on Friday, but what I'm going to do with this cohort is I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to give you some dates and times in the week, and then whatever works for the majority is what's going to be our time. Okay, so that I take everybody into account. So if there's a particular time that works for you, this may end up being that specific time. Okay, so this is the library that you have as a practice owner when you join, and it's similar but a little bit different for associates, with the main focus on thinking like a CEO, so you can learn to have better confidence, make better, stronger decisions, and conquer your people pleasing, stop procrastinating. We're going to talk about perfectionism, all of these things that make our life a nightmare, so much harder, so that you can start making business decisions faster and not bring them home. Then it's the Team Excellence Code, the Team Excellence Code, where you will learn how to talk to your team, how to have these conversations, how to not be emotionally attached to them or involved in the drama or staff turnover, plus the done for you templates and the job descriptions. Honestly, this alone saves you like 35 hours a month. 35 hours. What can you do with extra 35 hours? It's insane. With the reviews, the legal, accounting, and practice management experts. And lastly is my time freedom method so that you can have much better work-life balance. So that's what you get immediately when you join. You will also have access to our community, to our private Facebook group with just owners, and for associates, it will be just associates. And in addition to this, we have our weekly coaching calls, right? Our weekly calls as a group where you can bring any questions, any concerns, any help you need with anything. Or sometimes you're like, I'm kind of good. And we have like 6 months of those calls. So you don't have to attend all of them. I on purpose made a lot of them so that you have ample opportunity to get support. Sometimes you'll just come in and listen from other people. And there's somebody who's ahead of you, has a problem that you don't have right now. And you are gaining this knowledge now so that in the future, when you're in the situation, you're like, oh my gosh, I know how to solve it. Like, tell me what is more valuable. If you could be in the room of people who are 10 years ahead of you and you are learning now from the problems you're going to have 10 years from now. And not only you're learning about problems, you're learning about the solutions. You tell me what's the value of this knowledge. It's invaluable. It is literally saving you tons and tons of time and money. So we will have our weekly calls as part of the mastermind. You also have a private session with me. If there's something you want to bring up privately, we're going to schedule this. And for early enrollment, before March, I think 10th, is you'll get a second private session with me. So you also have private access to me. And every month, I send you a success tracker where I ask you certain questions. I keep you on track based on what you're working on or based on what support you need. And I will send you a personal, just for you in the email, a video with my personalized support to you. So definitely make sure to take advantage of these monthly success trackers because it's another opportunity to get a personal support and personal mentorship for a fraction of a cost because you're inside the mastermind. And of course, you are going to take advantage from all these brilliant minds, all these women in the group who are all focused on growth, positivity, and doing the absolutely best, creating the best life for themselves. You are surrounded with these high level individuals. That again, alone is priceless. So this is all that's going to happen in the practice owner track. For associates, a big component of that video library that you have is helping you make career decisions. A big thing for an associate, I know for you guys, is you are trying to decide, should I stay at this job? Should I move to another job? Should I buy a practice? And a lot of the time, there are family considerations. You are having children. You might have another children. You are thinking when to have children, right? All of these things come into place, and that's what I'm going to help you make a decision. I will literally be your personal guide because I have been in all these situations, and I've also coached many, many doctors who have been in similar situations. So I know how to take into account your future goals, your financial goals, like how much are we in debt? How many loans do we have? How are we paying it off? Are we married? Are we not? Is the priority right now finding a husband? Is the priority right now paying off the student loan or maybe having a baby? Where do we live? Where do we want to live? Right? Immigration status is huge. I came to this country when I was 25 and I didn't have any family here, right? So I started completely from the bottom, right? I was a tourist. So I went from a tourist to a student to a work visa to a permanent resident, right? Like way before my husband never helped me became a resident in this country. I went through the whole ladder through employment. And so I know how to think about these things and take it into account if you are not from this country there's definitely some extra considerations that we need to take in order to plan your career successfully. And then, of course, the other part for associates is the work-life balance, for sure, especially if you're a mom, because a lot of you guys are working long hours, many days, and you are getting burned out. You're like, is that what dentistry is like? I didn't know. I don't even know if I can do this for a long time. And there are a lot of considerations. It could be that you're just in a business model that doesn't work with your personality. It could be that you have what I call emotional exhaustion. There's two types of exhaustion, the physical and the emotional, the way you're interacting, the way you're thinking about your work, about your staff, about your boss, about yourself, that's creating this extra layer of stress that's contributing to you overworking. Right? How many times you are not actually working, you're at home, but you're constantly thinking about your cases? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to help you address in the mastermind. And of course, how to be a great leader as an associate, right? There's a unique challenges for associates that practice owners don't have. That's what I'm going to help you overcome as well. All right, my friends. I would love to have you as part of the mastermind. We always have the most amazing people. Once again, the mastermind is open right now. If you want in or you want more information, the best way, honestly, is to connect with me. Either email me or schedule a call so we can chat about it. There's zero pressure. I only want people who are absolutely interested and they're growth-oriented and want to be a part of this amazing community because, the value in this mastermind is insane. And I made sure that it's very affordable for the practice owners and the associates, because I always like to undercharge and over-deliver for my clients. That's what my coaches did for me. That's what I want to do for you guys. And so I would love for you to join this round, the last round of 2025. There's a really good reason for this, but me and my team are not ready to share with you yet why. And like I said, please come to the class on March 9th. You'll practice your rules to learn more. I'm going to be sharing more about the mastermind there. Or if you're like, I'm ready, I maybe just need to chat, or like, where do I sign up? Book a call or send me an email. I'm going to leave all the links in the show notes below. And I would love to see you as part of this next cohort. Like I said, we're starting on March 18th, and it's going to go for 6 months until the end of September. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to think from a place of desire. What would you want your life to look like 6 months from now? Not what you think is possible, not what you think what's rational, not what you think is like common sense or people are doing around you, but from the place of true desire. You know there's more for you. You know that you can create incredible things for you. I want you to ask yourself, what would it be? What would my life look like 6 months from now? And I want you to share this with me so I can help you make that a reality inside of the mastermind. All right, my sweet friend, I will catch you during the class, March 9th. You'll practice your rules. Otherwise, have a great week.